All right, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of SideQuest Podcast. Listen in and level up. I have a great episode for you today, but first, as always, let's get through the show notes. If you're not following the Facebook page, head over to Facebook, type SideQuest Fitness into the search bar, and like the page. There, you're going to get updates on podcast episodes, articles when they get posted, and you're going to get a brand new taco recipe every Tuesday for Taco Camp. Plus lots of other shenanigans and nerd talk throughout the week, so make sure you head over to Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is SideQuestFM. If you want to see some cool videos and random stuff on Instagram as well, you can follow me on Instagram. Same handle, SideQuestFM. Or follow me on Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. Send me your questions. I want to get all the questions from you, help you as much as I can on your fitness journey or your journey in life, whatever it may be. But head over to Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. You get a little more personal, in-depth look at the shenanigans I get into throughout every day. But I do love getting questions from the community, so please send them out to me. If you have not left a review for the podcast, please head over to iTunes. If you're not listening on iTunes and you listen on SoundCloud or Stitcher, leave a review there as well. When you leave reviews, it helps me move up the charts on the iTunes store so that more people can see and hear the amazing guests that I've had on and have on each and every single week. So make sure you head over there. And don't forget, if you haven't picked up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss, head over to sidequestfitness.com/7 principles, and you can pick up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss. These are the same 7 principles I follow each and every day and teach my clients to help them shred away more body fat, unlock heroic strength, and just look better naked. So if you want to unlock strength or just look better naked in the mirror, head over again, grab those 7 principles of fat loss, and start following those today. All right, guys, I have a great episode. This is the 1-year anniversary of Coach's Corner. I'm so stoked. Honestly, I can't believe that it's been a year. My good friend, Travis Pollen, had this idea. We used it as a way to chit-chat about writing and getting to know each other better in the fitness industry, but we found that we actually had really great ideas we wanted to share with the world, share with listeners, and get out so that more people can learn and improve their fitness and health through what we understand in the biz. I've enjoyed the last year. We've talked about a lot throughout supplements, protein, fat loss, building muscle, strength, mental health, and so much more. So let's get into this episode. We talk about the Olympics. I apologize for some of the editing issues. Tanner Bays was here. We were doing this live, but we also had some people on Skype. So I had to edit some of the sound out because I didn't have 2 pairs of headphones. So I apologize for that. But anyways, let's get into the show. It's a great one. And enjoy Coach's Corner as we talk about the Olympics. And you'll find out at the end where we're going with Coach's Corner in the future.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.
All right, guys, welcome to a brand new episode. This is the 1-year anniversary of Coach's Corner. I have Travis Pollen on the call right now, but he came up with this crazy idea last year. So I have to say thank you to Travis for giving me this idea, for loving the first episode and continuing on with what we've done in a year. We've talked a lot about fat loss. We talked about supplements. We talked about nutrition.
Hey.
We've talked about, hey, there's Nick Sorrell. He's there. Yeah.
Check it out. I'm moving.
You're moving. All right.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about mental health. We talked about strength. We've talked about music. That was a fun episode. And this episode, we're going to talk about some fun things like the Olympics. We're going to go wherever we want to go because it's the 1-year anniversary. I have a Shiner Bock in my hand. Tanner is here. He has a Shiner Bock in his hand. No one's going to see you, so it's cool.
I didn't know if they can.
Oh, yeah, they get... What? Travis has red velvet Oreos. Dirty.
Nice.
Dirty.
Nick looks dumb.
Don't pick on Nick.
No, it's weird because, like, my face is so fucking close to my camera, so I feel like I have to, like, hold my hand really far away.
Your face could be like right near our face, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Olympics. Comes around every 4 years. It's been a really fun Olympics to watch. I've watched a few things. And some things I was like, I don't want to wait till tomorrow to watch. Like, I want to watch it now. Michael Phelps has basically won more medals than anyone might ever win unless they play like an Olympic video game.
Right.
Where they can win every medal. And Ryan Lochte has gotten in trouble with some police in Brazil.
Which has been awesome.
There's been a whole lot going on with that. Usain Bolt, like, in his last Olympics, has blown people away. A dude broke the world record in, was it the 400?
Yeah.
Broke the world record in that.
Broke Michael Johnson's record.
And finally the U.S., after like 40 years, has won a gold, or not a gold, but won a medal in weightlifting. And it comes from a badass warrior princess who just got on stage, did some amazing stuff. I've seen her on Instagram, and hopefully I can get her on the show. So we'll see. But it's been a good time. I've also learned that there are crazy Olympic sports I didn't know existed. Like sailing. I didn't really know sailing was an Olympic sport.
Yeah, man.
Like,
of course.
And then today there was like,
Yeah.
it wasn't gymnastics, but they were like hula hoop dancing, like with a hula hoop.
Yeah.
Is that rhythmic gymnastics?
Yeah, I think it's rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah. It just like it's surprising. Like, you know the big stuff because of those. Like, Michael Phelps is on ESPN. Like, basketball is on ESPN. Like, there's soccer, there's badminton, there's all these other things that people talk about. But it's like, oh, there are these weird random things that you don't realize are a part of the Olympics. Which I find also odd that it's the Summer Olympics and it's winter in the Southern Hemisphere, and they're in Brazil, which is in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, but it's also probably awesome weather in Brazil.
It probably is awesome weather in Brazil. So,
like, they're close enough to the equator to where I don't think it's really going to matter all that much.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, this Olympics, because Rio's been such a dumpster fire.
Oh, God.
God.
Rio's been worse than, like, the NFC South in football. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Olympics really happened, because when they started, there were a lot of countries that were like, we're not coming.
Yeah, it looked like, well, for a while, it looked like they really weren't going to be able to pull it off. Like, it really did look like they were not going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. So, what have you guys watched and enjoyed during the Olympics? Or have you watched anything? Travis, I know you've been watching a little bit, a lot, actually.
Yeah, I've been glued to the TV until my TV stopped working the other night. That was devastating. So the TV, like, at the start of the Olympics, you had to turn it on and turn it off a couple of times to get it on. And then a couple nights ago, when I wanted to watch the finals of the 200, I tried it for like 10 minutes and I just couldn't get it on, and I gave up. Devastating. Yeah. And then I couldn't figure out how to stream it, unfortunately. I know it's easy, and it just wasn't coming up. So, but apart from that, I caught all the swimming, a lot of the gymnastics, some weird sports like trap shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've growing up in the South, obviously, like, you've got a lot of, like, people who are, like, pro Second Amendment, like just super pro Second Amendment. And there were, like, my Facebook feed was flooded with memes about a U.S. trap shooter who had won a medal in 6 different Olympics, and they were pissed she hadn't gotten the media coverage that she deserves. And
yeah, it's pretty incredible, right?
Well, yeah, it's super incredible. But
for 6 Olympics, like, even if it's not something like swimming, like, it's still, you're winning gold in 6 different Olympics.
Well, so, like, my girlfriend and I were watching it, and we're like, well, not how hard is this, but, like, how well-trained do you have to be, 1? And then 2, like, could any old guy who lives in the South who shoots a lot come and do as well as those girls? I think the answer is clearly no. Like, they're very talented. They weren't missing, like, 13 tries and 12 makes. And you have, like, less than a fraction of a second to shoot and figure out where the thing's going. I thought it was amazing.
No,
Yeah.
dude, it's super amazing, and like they truly like there. I think there is like a level of like innate coordination and talent that like is necessary to reach like that peak. You know?
Yeah.
But also, like, they're probably not training 4 hours a day like the swimmers are. They probably shoot on a daily basis, but who knows? I don't know. They don't cover it, so
Well,
they
that's
don't
the thing
really
is
tell you.
they don't cover a lot of those sports because, I mean, one, you're not going to cover shooting because, you know, it
Like
is
who's
what
gonna
it is.
watch it?
Well, but that's the thing is like it's not an exciting sport, so people aren't really interested
Yeah.
in it. And
Yeah, I watched it for a few minutes and I was like, this is incredible, but every single shot is the same over and over. So
right,
Yeah.
it's like gymnastics has its thing every 4 years when the Olympics comes around, but there's not a lot of ESPN gymnastics coverage.
Right.
nobody even pays attention to swimming and they have world championships every year that are just as fast and just all the people are there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or track and field even. Nobody pays attention.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, does any sport get attention other than basketball during the year?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, like we talk, like this one didn't get any attention, and that one didn't get any attention. None of them do, really.
Golf and tennis.
Golf, yeah, tennis.
Yeah, and even that's like minuscule, especially here in the States. Well, here in the States, really.
Yeah, it's honestly, I think it's kind of sad that we don't pay attention to some more of those sports, especially things like swimming, where it is like a full body. Like it's a fucking workout, dude. Like it's an intense training. Like, and Travis, you know this because you've done it. Like,
Yeah, that's the really cool thing. Anybody can hop in and swim a lap and appreciate how fast that the people on TV are swimming and how much they must train in order to be that fast. Like somebody asked me the other day, like if you race Michael Phelps and I was swimming freestyle and he was swimming butterfly, would he beat you? And I was like, yeah, he would crush me. Like now, because I'm out of shape, especially. But even when I was, Paralympic speed, like he still would have beaten me by half a pool swimming butterfly with me swimming freestyle, which is faster. So like that's the level where they're at. It's just unbelievable. And the girls too, they would crush me also.
Nah, man, you can kick his ass.
just get him high.
Maybe Lochte now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give him a Subway sub, and he might be weighed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing that I think is really, really sad about Olympic athletes. Now, I don't know about other countries, but I know about here in the United States. Like, the fact that they have to pay taxes on their medal is goddamn ridiculous. Like,
Wait, tell us more about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to pay, like, well, I don't know if it's an income tax.
Because you're like, it's just like if you won a car, you've got to pay taxes on the car that you won.
Right, so you have to pay taxes on the medal that you won, which is fucking ludicrous because you're competing for the United States of America. Like, I don't...
The U.S. Olympic Committee should pay it?
I either they should or someone should start a Kickstarter or...
How much are we talking for a medal? Like, what is a medal?
I think it's like $9,000.
Is it really?
I think so.
Tanner's looking at
Because they have them like scaled. It's like a gold is worth, according to them, they price it like $35,000. So if you win that, you pay $9,000 or something like that in taxes.
Yeah, but where do you come up with $9,000 though? Like, what if you're in one of these stupid sports? Not stupid, but one of these lesser sports where you're not making any kind of endorsement money or.
I guess they assume, honestly, they probably don't care. People taking the taxes, like they probably just don't give a shit. But if you win a gold medal, you're probably going to get some sort of aid somewhere.
Here's
Trap
the
shooting?
thing, like,
Maybe, I don't know.
God damn it, Nick, shut up. We've simplified it by saying that like they're paying taxes on the actual medal because like for instance, like we think of like, oh, you've gotten a gold medal, like that gold medal is really only like 1% actual gold. But the U.S. Olympic Committee awards cash prizes to the athletes.
Oh, okay.
Like in the Winter Olympics, for example, they got $25K for a gold, $15K for a silver, and $10K for a bronze. And though that money is taxed because it's earned income abroad and it's subject to IRS taxation. So they pay roughly 39%. So, for some of them, there are a lot of college kids who they go into the Olympics. Like one of the swimmers who got in trouble with Lochte is a swimmer at the University of Georgia. And I mean, they won a gold, and the kid is going to have to pay like
almost half of the $25,000. So he's down to
Hold on. Does that not count as like professional earnings then?
I don't think that it does. I feel like
that must be some exemption.
Yeah, I feel like it's an exemption with the NCAA.
Yeah. I guess there's a rule.
Or maybe it does. Maybe you just have to forego your earnings.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But then where do you get the 9,000?
I don't know, because one of those dudes also wound up having to pay the police in Rio something equivalent of $10.5 thousand.
Yeah, like a plea to get out of jail or something.
Because that was the penalty for lying to the police.
Well, that was the penalty for an American lying to the police.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I understand that. So if it was in the Atlanta games in '96, would they pay less because it was made because it's not foreign in like?
Well, I'm sure you're just subject to your tax, like to the tax rate here.
True.
And not to mention, then it's earned in Georgia, so you're also paying state income tax in the state of Georgia.
That's true. That's true. It's still kind of shitty, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, if you're going out and competing for your country, also, wait a minute. How much money does the United States Olympic Committee have if they're shelling out, if there's 4 guys in the swimming, relay, they're, that's what? That's $100,000 that they have to pay out if they win a gold?
That was awesome math.
Yeah, but, that's I don't know. It's a lot of money. How much money do these committees make, and what about other I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. I just want to.
Well, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but don't a lot of countries pay their athletes to compete?
There are some countries that do. I know some countries go after certain athletes who have their mom might be from France, but they live in America, and they do this in the World Cup as well, where they have ties to that other country, and that country is come play for us in the World Cup or play for us in the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, dude, do y'all know?
Well, Puerto Rico won a gold or won a medal this year, their first medal, and they had tried to get her on as an American, and she was like, "No, I'm gonna compete for Puerto Rico."
Well, so the girl who dove across the finish line in the 200 or the 100 in track and field, she was competing for I can't even remember who, but she went to the University of Georgia. She grew up here. Also, do y'all know Ryan Doris, the powerlifter and CEO of De Novo Nutrition? Okay.
No. Yeah.
It's pretty big name in the fitness community, especially the powerlifting world. His brother is in Rio competing in the long jump for Guyana, and he plays 7th in the world, and the dude lives here.
Is he American? Does he have any ties?
Well, I mean, Ryan and Troy are both American.
But
their mom lives in Fayetteville, Georgia,
and they're just competing for Ghana.
Yeah. No, I want to say it's not Ghana. I want to say they're competing for Guyana.
Guyana.
Different
Gotcha.
Country.
I was going to say for Ghana. Damn it. They always beat us in the fucking World Cup.
They are.
Can't go. They knock us out almost every time. I know there are people that do that, which is interesting.
Yeah, if you have citizenship from another country, it's going to be a lot easier to qualify in a smaller country than it is in a lot of sports than it is in the U.S.
That's true.
Yeah. There's that football player, David Wilson. He had to retire because of some sort of spinal issue from the NFL. He ran for the New York Giants, I think, and he qualified for the 100-meter dash for like Port St. Louis or something like that. I don't know if y'all saw that. But he
girl from
wasn't
my
very
high
fast.
school did the hurdles for Jamaica. Yeah, she actually, I didn't see it, but I think she got to like the semifinal at the very least.
All right, so we're welcoming Matt Dustin onto the show. Matt's finally hopping on. Matt, we're talking about the Olympics on this one, but we're randomly going to talk about whatever as well, just celebrating a year of Coach's Corner. What have you enjoyed the most about the Olympics so far? Have you caught anything? Has anything really stuck out to you?
I watched a lot of the soccer and a lot of the weightlifting, and then whatever other random things are on when I happen to be home. But those two I've gone out of my way to watch.
Okay. What have you been impressed the most about?
Oh, man, that's a tough question.
I mean, watching the weightlifting, I realize I don't even lift.
Yeah, I don't lift either. I've never touched a weight before. No, honestly, like watching the swimming and track and field, like how close it is. Like even at the highest level, they're all so good and so close. It's amazing to me.
Then it comes down to just like Travis was saying, there was a 3-way tie for a silver medal in one men's swimming event. Like it's just that close that even a photo like can't tell you.
Yeah.
The one from Georgia who won the gold that made that like what was it 415 kilograms or something?
No, it couldn't have been that.
See to him.
But yeah.
But if you honestly if you look at a lot of like really heavy like world record and PR lifts and whatnot, like those people are so explosive that like the weight tends to move very quickly.
Yeah.
Like not every PR world record looks like Eddie Hall pulling 1,100 pounds,
right,
or something like that.
Right. One thing in the Olympics that's you're sort of training for that anyways. You know?
If you look at some of the swimmers' faces after they do like a short race, they don't look as fatigued as you would think they would. But it's because they train like that all the time. So they're not always going that fast. Obviously, they're never going that fast, but they're working that hard a lot of the time. So it's like not that different.
So speaking of the swimming, one thing that just popped in my mind that I want to sort of segue into is a lot of people. At least last week, there was a lot of internet talk of, the guy who was mouthing off at like, oh, I'm going to beat Phelps. And he's like making faces at like Michael Phelps and like talking shit. And like they pan over on the camera and Phelps is there and he's like, he's in the zone. He's doing his thing, his ritual that he probably always does. And this other guy is just like, whatever.
Shadow boxing.
Yeah, he shadow boxes right in front of Phelps.
Right in front of Phelps. And then, like, during the swim, Phelps is focused, and this guy, like, they get a shot of him, like, looking.
He's looking over at him, yeah. He was trying to get into his head.
Right.
You can't blame him. He knew he was going to – that was his only strategy to try to be able to beat him. But, the announcers were saying that's just adding fuel to Phelps's fire.
Right. Or it's just Phelps, like, I'm not going to pay attention to you. I know – I'm going to follow my routine. Yeah,
he's more mature than that to get caught up in that.
Is like, but I sort of want to segue into that, in that like, how do you apply that in your own sort of training where like you just stay in the zone? How do you get in the zone? How do you apply that to your own sort of thing? Because it's very easy to get distracted. Like, you're at the gym and some dude is over in the corner and going, with like 45-pound dumbbells on an incline press. And, there's a hot chick in front of you, like doing Romanian deadlifts whose ass looks really great. Like, there are distractions all around you. Like, how do you stay in that zone? How do you not let that stuff affect you?
If the girl's there, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Touche, sir. Touche. No, but I think that's something that, like, having been to the powerlifting competition that I went to with Tanner, like, you watch all these other people compete all day, and you see, like, these guys in your same class or these same girls in your class. And, I mean, we watched the one chick she said she'd just started powerlifting, like, 5 months before that. She ripped, like,
a state record.
Yeah, she set a state record, and it wasn't, like, grinding. Like, she just ripped it off the floor like it was nothing. And, like, everyone else has to see that, like, in her class. Like, how does that affect you mentally?
Yeah, I think only...
It just depends. Like, those people are competing on, like, a world stage, and they have a lot riding on the line. So, like, at that point, like, if you've reached, like, that peak of, like, athleticism, like, the routine is very much so a big deal. That's why Phelps and Bowman, like, have this saying, like, put the tape in. Because Phelps is visualizing. But, I mean, at the same time, like, the internet, as it is wont to do, like, decided to just make it seem like paying attention to what your competitors is doing is, like, the worst thing imaginable. And I don't think that's the case at all. Like, every time I've competed in anything, like, I want to see what other people are doing. Like, in the gym today, like, if I'm lifting, like, I want to see what other people are doing.
Yeah,
because there's just a little ingrained thing that's like, well, I want to outdo you.
Right, and then it goes back to, like, a picture tells 1,000 words. Like, it literally could have been a moment where, like, his head went to the side to grab breath, like, some air, and that's just when, like, the camera caught it.
That one, he was breathing to the side during his stroke, which isn't wrong, but isn't the way most people swim butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, that was a funny photo. The one with Usain Bolt looking to the side, it almost seemed like he was posing for the camera because he knew they were.
That did.
Well, it's Usain Bolt. Like he knows he's faster than everyone else, and he's gonna do that. I do have to say that is the one thing, watching some of the fast sprinters and the relays and things. I'm like, dude, these guys are jacked. Like, they look like what so many, like, clients of mine, or, like, many of us are like, we're on a cut, man. I'm getting ready for a photo shoot. Like, their delts are, like, popped out. Their biceps are bulging. Like, they're fucking powerful and strong and fast. Like, they're not, it's interesting to see. I was talking to a layperson the other day, like a nurse. And she was like, Bolt has really big arms. Like, what does that do for his running? And I was like, well, actually, you need to have really strong arms because pumping your arms fast actually makes you run faster. And she was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. Obviously not too big.
Yeah, like, the thing, too, is, like...
You can't be Rich Piana.
Right.
Oh, God. I saw a picture of him.
But, like, Bolt's arms, if you were to measure them, are probably, like, 15 inches. Like, Bolt's arms aren't like... huge by, like, Fit Pro standards or anything.
Right, but he's muscular.
Yeah, he's muscular and he's super lean, so he's going to appear to be, like, far more jacked than, like, if we met the dude in real life, we'd probably be like, oh, like, you look like you're fast.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Think about the getting psyched out by your competitors. I think that just comes with experience. Probably a lot of the first time Olympians did really well, especially in swimming, but probably you're suddenly sharing the pool with Michael Phelps in warm up, and you're kind of like getting a little bit like, starstruck. But then again, the guy who won the gold in the 100 fly, I don't know if you guys saw the picture, like when he was a little kid, he took a picture with Michael Phelps, and, like, that was his hero. And then he but he beat him in the race, 8-10 years later. That's pretty cool. He obviously didn't get too caught up in what anybody else was doing.
Right.
But that can definitely play in.
I like that you kind of said that, because I thought about this last night. Today. Tanner's up here in where I live, and I took him to a used bookstore, and I'm walking around, and he's talking about, like, this book and that book and this book and that book. And I'm like, fuck, I'm so behind. I haven't read.
That's because he's been reading out the wazoo.
Right, well, but like for his whole life, like he's so much more, he's more well read than I've ever been.
Yeah, but you played more video games than him.
Well, that's true.
That's very true.
But the thing is that like I get sort of psyched out at that, and like even my wife tells me all the time, like, Robbie, you can read all this stuff. You have time. It doesn't mean anything. But for me, I'm sort of like, fuck, shit, I got to read all these books. Like, no, like there's some deep hidden meaning or something within all of this. Like, it's going to make me a better writer. It's going to make me like a smarter human being. And
that's, yeah, the fiction and stuff and the non-fitness stuff is one thing. And yeah, totally it'll make you a better writer. You'll find deeper meaning in things. But even looking around at, your peers and seeing that they've read 18 more fitness related and business books in you this like month, that I definitely feel intimidated by that because I see a lot of people reading more than me. But I know that's only one piece of the puzzle. Like actually gaining experience, working with people and doing your own writing, like it's all part of it. So the reading is only one component. And
you're also going for a PhD.
No, but like I haven't read. God, what's a book that you guys have read that I probably haven't read?
The War of Art.
No, like
I've never read that.
Like a fitness book.
Oh,
like John Goodman's book. You guys have probably read that. Yeah, I haven't read it. Sorry, John. It's on my list. But like, I know that would help me. But like, busy doing other things.
Okay. Right, but where I wanted to go with that is like we all sort of psych ourselves out at times, and I know a lot of our clients do that as well. Like it's not uncommon for like even clients to be like, oh, but man, like I saw this person on Instagram and they did this, or I read this thing in men's health or women's fitness or shape, and like they lost all this weight. Like, how do I get there? What do I do? Like they sort of psych themselves out. So how can we, like right now, sort of the listeners, add some value to them and be like, here's why you shouldn't psych yourself out. Don't be like Robbie and freak out that you haven't read all these books and you don't fit. Like, I just finished Harry Potter, and which is weird for me as like a nerd. Like, I feel like people within my brand will be like, I'm sorry, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you and reading your shit, and you just finished Harry Potter this year?
Well, you did right the wrong, so that's good.
I did.
It's never too late to right the wrong.
Right. But how do you, because I know a lot of people do that. Like, Olympic athletes psych themselves out. You meet your hero. And now, granted, the one guy totally smoked Phelps. Or not smoked, but he beat him. He won gold. Like, for the rest of his life, if he never wins anything else, like, that'll be awesome to him. But, like, sure. How do you help your clients not psych themselves out?
Oof.
Wow.
It just depends on the client, man. It depends,
It's individual, and we talk about the process all the time. Like, as coaches and as anything, we talk about process, but, like, it's hard to...
I mean, legitimately, one of the biggest things that you can do is just continually reiterate the story of the process. And, maybe instead of, standing on your high horse and telling the client, look, the process of you doing this, this, and this day in, day out is going to get you here. Maybe flip the script and tell them about a process that you used and frame it within a story.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this, and it was kicking my ass, and, I was worried about what everybody else is doing, and so I just started doing this day in, day out, and, pretty soon the days piled up, and then, 5 months later, I was, pulling 500 pounds on a deadlift and chugging a bottle of bourbon at the same time, and, that was, my life goal. And, so that's, just how it goes. That's, literally the biggest way that I could think to relate it to somebody.
All right. So, Matt, how do you help your clients when they sort of psych themselves out or start to get in that vein?
Yeah, I've been trying to think about this. I try to just remind people that, if what we're doing has been working, there's really no need to change it, I tell them, any diet or nutrition, could work for anyone, right? But, what we're doing is working, so don't go reading like this magazine and that. Like, there's no need to change, fix what isn't broken. I don't have a lot of clients who get psyched out by seeing other people. I think it's more people have questions about like articles they read on like what diet they should be on. That's the big one, is nutrition for me. I get a lot of nutrition questions, but I'll just ask them like, you're seeing results, right? Like, why do you want to change it? And they usually settle down. But I also don't have that many in-person clients anymore. So most of it's just email or like getting on the phone. But that's the biggest thing for me.
I agree with that.
Just try to get them like recentered on.
Yeah, I would add like when they say like, "Oh, I'm not losing the weight that I want." Well, one, focus on the positives. Like, you're stronger than you've ever been, which is something that when you train you get stronger, and even if you're not losing the weight that you want, you can see it in your workout log that you've added weight on all these exercises. You look back 6 months and you look at those workouts and you're like, man, I'm so much farther now than I was then. Two, what was two? Oh, you like take one thing at a time. Like, okay, I'm like, I can't worry about what happened before. I can try to fix one thing at a time. We've talked about that, like, here's an example from my own life is that I've been working on a book, and I'm finally like almost finished it. But when I started writing it, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, the project seems too daunting. Like, I was having trouble starting, but I was just like, all right, I'm gonna write like the first page or the first chapter, and then the first chapter becomes the second chapter, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna focus on this week or this day, and then take it from there.
I like okay, so I want to go into that real quick, Travis, just because it's something I've sort of been doing. James Altucher put a video up on Facebook or something about this, and most people, like, I've done it. I did it when I started 2016. I bought a whiteboard and started writing down what I was going to get done for the day. And then I saw this video where he was like, you know what? I set a theme for the day. So my theme for a Thursday could be podcast editing. I do nothing but edit podcasts. I don't program for clients. I will answer emails like in the appointed time that I've told people I will answer them. But beyond that, it's podcast. That's it. Wednesday might be writing. I do nothing but write my fucking face off. Is that sort of what you've sort of done there, is like creating a sort of theme day?
Yeah, well, I might have done this wrong where I took off from my gym job for a month and just wrote, because that's the way that I work best. Is one day. Blog posts that I was writing the book, but not much. I kind of one track television myself project. But I like that idea of, even if something comes up and it would be easy to know, I'm not doing that today because it's, and you can really get X done without trying to do 18 different things and then getting none of them done.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing I try to avoid, is having 18 different things that I don't get done, but then sometimes I don't feel like I really got anything. And that's just my own personal guilt.
Yeah, I sit down at the computer sometimes when I have a few hours, and like I feel like I'm tying up loose ends, and then at the end of the day when I'm like talking to my girlfriend, she's like, "What'd you do today?" And I was like, nothing. Like I was working the whole time, but I have nothing concrete to show for it, which is frustrating.
Do you feel like that with your training sometimes? Like, now that we've talked about like Olympic athletes, like they're training for the Olympics, but some days they're like, I don't have anything to show. Like, I didn't get faster. I didn't.
Oh yeah, that's it. Progress is very non-linear, even at that level, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Like, there are weeks I go with training where I'm like, God, I just suck. Why am I even doing this? And then there are like weeks where like I go in the gym and I'm like, they must have done something to the mirrors because I look jacked right now and this is great.
Well, it's like today we went in.
We drank a little last night while playing some Settlers, and
We drink a lot.
and some Star Wars Epic Duels, and it was a good time. And we went in today to deadlift, and I was like, all right, I've been deficit deadlifting, like I've been ripping shit off the floor at a greater range of motion. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for 400. We put 385 on the bar. Not a fucking inch was moved. Not even a centimeter. Like nothing would move. Like it felt awful, and we were like, all right, fine, we're going to take it back down. We're just going to lift heavy and in like a mid range. And we all have those days. Like, and I try to tell people that all the time. Like, you're going to have days where, you go in and you just fucking slay the weights. And then you're going to go in like the next week and it's going to suck. 225 is going to feel like 4,000 pounds.
You might even have more bad days than good days, but
Yeah.
that's okay because as long as you're putting in the work, even on the bad days,
And I think
in the end, you're going to be stronger.
that's something that people sort of forget is that, you have someone like a Michael Phelps who he's in there every single day, and we see the highlights. We see the gold medals. We see, the celebrations. But we probably don't see the days where, like, he goes home and he punches a hole in his wall. Like, he's just upset. He's angry. He hasn't done, like, he's followed his routine. He's done his stuff, but it's just his body is like, nope, not today.
Yeah, you could have a bad practice or a bad string of practices or a bad meet leading up to it or something's not going right. But then when in the end it does turn out right, that's why he's crying when he's getting the national anthem and the medal, and like when he finishes and he's sitting on the lane line, like showing his guns off. Like so much has accumulated and led up to that point. So many like wins and failures that like you can't blame the guy for being over the moon when that happens.
No, you can't at all. I do want to know what he does like after. Like, does he come back for another one? Do you think 4 years from
Same question you could ask with Bolt.
That's true.
Yeah, and Phelps stopped for 2 years and then came back. So that would be pretty easy, right? Like to not do anything for 2 years and then you only need 2 years to get back into it, because the rest of these people are going to be training for the next 4 years, and he did it on 2 years. So just to do the relays, because then he wouldn't even need to be in great shape. Not as good shape as he's in now. Or the training would be different to do the shorter race. I think he could do it. 36. You guys remember back Jason Lezak from Beijing. He was in his 30s. I don't know if he was closer to 32, which is Phelps now, or 31, 35, 36. But Dara Torres from years ago. And maybe women are different. Women, if anything, actually in swimming probably peak earlier, like in their teens. Like even this year, the girl from London who kicked everybody's ass wasn't as fast this year, and maybe she was just off. But you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
If I said the name, you'd be like, "Oh, of course." Hold on, talking about something else. I'll figure it out.
All right, so here's an interesting question. What ancient Olympic sport do you think today our athletes might struggle with, or if you know anything about like any
Chariot racing. Well, because the Olympics were a way for like soldiers to like show off their prowess.
Right.
So like you got to think, what would soldiers be doing?
Right.
So like chariot racing for sure.
Do you think wrestling, like ancient, like Greek and Roman wrestling, would?
I mean, I don't know. No, because that's at least a bit more contemporary. Like it may not be like popular, but like. You go to a big high school, like there's wrestling there.
The discus, like, do you think those athletes today would be better?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. I would be better than like what they were.
Right.
I think they'd wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
In discus, wrestling, javelin.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video comparing the like 1950 gold medal vault in gymnastics to the 2000. Yeah, it's just silly. And the same is across the board in all the sports. Part of it's the technology, part of it's the training. I don't know. It's just incredible.
But I'm just thinking about like those classic ones that have sort of always have come down from those times. Like, you know, I would assume that modernly we would fare better, but I don't know.
Yeah, part of it's just like good genes for Michael Phelps. Like nobody's ever came along with that body type that was that perfect.
Yeah, that body type. The dude literally looks like someone just spray painted like white skin. Like it's all muscle. Like he's so ripped.
Yeah, if you look at him and Lochte side by side, you're like, is Lochte even a swimmer? Like he's very boxy, kind of like not as, it's a little soft around the middle. Not to say that he's not strong, a wicked swimmer, but
yeah.
I have a question for you guys. I know we have to finish up soon, but every person in the final of a race, whether it's track or running or whatever, or swimming or whatever sport it is, every person thinks they're going to win, right? You have to have that mentality if you're there. Do you think that Bolt, especially Bolt, do you think he knows he's going to win, like more so than the other guys think they're going to win?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I think he knows he's going to win, but I don't think it's such an egotistical thing like the rabbit in the hare where he's like, oh, I'm going to half-at. Like, he's going to give his all no matter what, but he's so confident and knows that he's the fastest that he's going to win no matter what. Like, he's not going to pull off the throttle in any way because he knows when his foot is fully on the throttle, no one's going to beat him.
Yeah, that's such a cool. Like, can you imagine having, like, you guys have
Travis, hold up. Travis, hold up. You broke up a little bit.
I said, did you guys hope you were going to win? Think you were going to win when you played the sport?
Honestly, I would say I hoped. I was more in basketball, I was the sixth man off the bench because I was the fat kid who just went in and fouled a lot. Baseball, I sat on the bench. I knew that my teammates were strong enough to bring the win, and I would go in and do my job, which was to, rough some people up every once in a while, get a few rebounds, be the backup point guard when they needed it. And that was what I was there for. But I as a sports fan watching my team, I'm confident that my team is going to win, hands down, until my heart's ripped out of my fucking chest, Villanova.
Mm-hmm. As far as like competition goes, it varies. So like athletically, like there have legitimately only been a few times where I've like stepped like onto like a court or a field or whatever and knew like, all right, we are going to win. But ironically, like, and this is very strange. The high school I went to, we won like 1 million state championships in academic competition, specifically for current events and social studies, and we were known for it. So like, even while I was competing in athletics, like we had these academic competitions we had to go to on the weekends, and going into those, it was like, like you're just taking a test. And like this like 50 question multiple choice test and an essay. And it's like, I've never felt more confident that I was going to like wipe the floor with everybody than I did in that time. And it was solely just because we were like this product of like this amazing system that had won like 17 straight championships. And we had like won, we knew that we were just a product of the note card system that we used to study, and like everybody else was not as good. They didn't work.
That's really interesting. So like you could say the same thing about Jamaican sprinters. Like they come from the product of the system, right? But then if you've never won a gold, how do you build that history, or how do you start that history to become the first one?
And that's the interesting thing about the Olympics is you have athletes from the larger countries like the United States, Great Britain, China, Russia, like competing against smaller countries that don't have the financial means to to pour into their athletes' training. So for them to win a gold, or a silver, or even a bronze, is a huge accomplishment. Because it is, such you're competing against the best. I mean, remember, like, the Dream Team. Dude, like, when the Dream Team first came in for basketball, like, every country they played, all those guys wanted to do on was get autographs. That was it. Like, they were playing the gods of basketball, like Jordan, Bird, Magic Johnson. Like, holy shit, we're meeting our idols. Like, I'm sure that happens in today's world. So what is it like when a kid who grew up idolizing Michael Phelps is standing next to him and like, oh shit, I'm about to fucking race you?
Yeah,
like,
but he sees they swim. They only race the clock.
Right.
So like he knows that the times he posts are like within the realm of like taking Phelps down.
Yeah.
So that just becomes this like this idea of like, all right, I know that like I'm in his league. I know that like
that I can do this.
Yeah, I just need to go swim my race.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I want to wind down a little bit. We lost Nick, unfortunately. His connection sucked, and he dropped out. So I want to go just spend a couple minutes and talk about a year long of doing Coach's Corner. Travis, I want to say thank you. I don't think I've told you this enough.
Thank you.
Thank you for this idea. I think it has provided a lot of value for listeners and everyone else who's tuned in. So if you aren't following Travis on Twitter, do that, TR Pollen, or find him on Facebook. Just look for Fitness Pollinator and just say, hey, I want to say thank you because I'm sure there's an episode of Coach's Corner that you've listened to that you've gotten a ton of value out of. And I don't know why I didn't think of it. I don't always have the best ideas, but Travis,
nobody's doing it.
Yeah, and no one's
that I know of.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great way to bring all of us together. I'm gonna venture out a little more with Coach's Corner. We're gonna do something a little more fun. We're gonna do some more fun stuff with it. I'm bringing some more coaches on as we do it because everyone's schedule. We're all so busy. Travis, you're about to go and get a doctorate. And things are all over the place. So I've got some really fun ideas for where we're going to go.
Tell us more.
Tanner will probably be on because we're so close and very easy to get on. And then we're going to – Coach's Corner is going to be more – we're going to geek out on things. So we're going to talk more about – less about fitness at times. There'll still be fitness episodes. We did one on deadlifts. We're going to talk about squats. We're going to talk about like chest and training that and like looking really great naked or whatever. But we're going to talk about like books and authors and writing and movies and video. Like I'm going to venture out and talk more because a lot of us like that's the side we never really get to show. Or when we do, people are like, I just want to hear about Bulgarian squats. I have no one who really wants to hear about that, but I sort of want to branch out and do that and do something fun so that Coach's Corner isn't just, let's talk about fitnessy stuff. I do that every other week anyways. So we're going to have some fun with that. But I want to say thank you for your idea and for spawning this. And Matt, thank you for coming on and chatting, for the episodes that you've been on as well. Tanner, you're here, so thank you.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, fuck you too. It's been a great year. It's been a lot of fun. I'm still surprised it's been a year. Not gonna lie, time fucking flies. Like it's so crazy.
It's crazy.
But yeah. So we're gonna wind down. We got some fun stuff coming for Coach's Corner, and we're gonna venture outside of fitness because life isn't just about lifting weights and swimming in a pool or
mostly about that.
Building a giant chest. I want to talk about more exciting things, and I want to hear from you. So if you are enjoying this episode and you enjoy Coach's Corner, what do you want to hear? Like, what do you want to hear from us? What do you want to know more about? We'll talk about, like, we'll do a whole episode on tacos or, like ice cream or, like, it doesn't matter.
Or why you should not mix dairy and alcohol.
Wait, that is, like, things you shouldn't do on a cheat day.
Yeah.
That is one of them. Let us know. Let me know. SideQuestFitness@gmail.com. On Twitter, SideQuestFM. Facebook, just search SideQuest Fitness. Let me know. I want to deliver the best content to you guys possible, but I want the next generation of fitness coaches to be the ones you guys have heard for years on this podcast. So when they start getting published everywhere and Dr. Travis Pollen is writing amazing books about what he's writing about, you're like, man, I've known that guy for years.
I knew him way back when. He was eating Oreos on the podcast.
So anyways, it's been a fun year. I enjoy talking about the Olympics. It's something we would only really get to talk about every 4 years. And then in 2 years, we could talk about the Winter Olympics.
And they'll be in, where will they be? Oh, they'll be in Seoul. They'll be in Seoul, South Korea.
Seoul, South Korea. Where's the next summer? Tokyo?
So, yeah.
All right.
That'll be good because that's not going to be a shit show.
No.
Like, Tokyo and Seoul are both going to have, like, things on point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good time. So guys, thank you for coming on. Everyone, thank you for listening. And we will see you guys next month for a very fun Coach's Corner. I think we might just do a giant Coach's Corner on Star Wars. I don't know. I'm going to throw it out there. We're going to totally do it. Star Wars. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for listening for a year. And we will see you guys next month.
Bye.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.